he's not here. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Rev Talk. I was talking to Reverend Kim, and I pulled a card today, and it really spoke to me. I don't know if it was a saying or if it was the picture. I'll show you the picture now, but the more you look into it, the more you get out of it. And the card says balance. And it just, from the coloring to the shapes to the grounding to the expansion, it's just breathtaking to me. It really spoke to me. And I had just done a class on how we need to rest in winter. And she suggested we hold a rock in our hand to ground us. And here there's 6 rocks in the creature. And it was funny because each color goes a little shade lighter, a little shade lighter, like you're rising up in your spiritual journey. And it was just beautiful to me. My counterpart card was love. So it was really a unique day for drawing cards. But according to the book, which is really kind of interesting because I try to stay away from reading them, but on the creatures you have to because their sayings are just so good. And it's balance. And what it means is there's connection and solitude, silence and expression, observation, action, love and indifference, effort and rest. There can be balance in all things when we stop to consider where we're putting our energy. And that just, it speaks volumes because what have we been saying all this time? Stop, take a breath, breathe. But I didn't until you told me, Reverend Kim, was there's so many oppositions that we don't even think. Even love has an opposition. So
Right.
you have to really balance this out with your harmony between these until you settle into where you should rightfully be. And that's listening to yourself and what your body is telling you.
I agree. It's a matter of, there's that saying, and I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember it off the top of my head, that without the darkness there can be no light. You have to be able to balance both of those. You can't just in on this plane of existence anyway, you can't just have one thing. There is always the counterpoint to it, which is like you said about balance. It's like being on a seesaw,
Yes,
to be able to balance that. And yes, I think we're going through a time with Mother Earth, and shout out to everybody in the Northeast, northern from me in Pennsylvania, because I lucked out with that storm big time. When you see these pictures, and it reminded me that, Mother Nature is trying to balance as well, and there's been a lot of imbalance for centuries.
mhm.
And all these energies that are coming up are letting me know anyway that there is balance, that there's an adjustment happening to bring it back to balance.
That's the best word, adjustment.
There's an adjustment happening. So everybody runs around, hands in the air, to understand that I think it could be so much worse than it has been. That's my perspective. Those people that are sitting under 3 feet plus of snow might wait for the thaw and then find me and punch me. But, um, you know, there is that balance that's trying to be found. And it is a delicate balance. It's a delicate procedure to try and And I get it. I did not want to be a part of that, and I'm thankful that I was not. That it kind of missed us completely. And I was very thankful for that. But I remember in times past, hey, there have been some pretty big ass storms that have come along, and and you just kind of shake your head like, oh my gosh, this is one of these oh my gosh kind of moments. But the balance is there. It's trying to be there. You were saying about your trees being removed that were still living but stressed and not doing very well. And I feel you, because it's like, boy, I hate the idea of removing trees unless there's a really good reason. But your tree people are very conscientious. But you said they came out early and climbed up in the trees to make
Yes.
sure there weren't any nests in there before they started pruning the other trees. And I thought that was a beautiful, sense of balance and respect for nature.
They actually pray
Do
to
they?
each tree before they go, thanking them for their leaves and
Oh, that's
supporting the other.
wonderful.
It's an unusual group, and I kind of really just hit it off with them. But he was telling me they're stressed, and even though they'll survive, they'll spend their life stressing.
Yeah,
Some
I know that
that
would be the thing that would make me feel better. I don't want them
Well,
stressed.
he showed my husband, and so I know Ray didn't say no because they dug out the root ball and it hadn't gone. But he also told me something quite interesting. In winter, the trees grow 30% of their roots down
Hmm.
more each year for strength and water and stability.
Right.
That's a big percentage.
It
I didn't
is.
know that because, we see our soil and it's all snow and frozen, and we try to dig and we can't. And he goes, they're already beyond that. They're already, way down.
Right.
And he was explaining, and I love them when they come out because I learn so much.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a bittersweet moment. I
Yes.
won't
So
replace
that
them. They're too expensive.
that well, and that brings about, there has to be that balance that's brought
Yeah.
in with with our desire to have beautiful trees around us. And if it's not helpful for the tree, if the tree is being stressed and harmed, that balance has to be reached. Yeah, a decision has to be made. And, I get it. I get it. That's, that it's difficult, and yet it needs to be done.
It's needed.
That balance has to be maintained. And it can be a very delicate thing, is maintaining that balance. I mean, you said you had that meditation this morning, and you went deep into the meditation.
Very, very unusual, but it was telling you in winter, the body needs to rest. You need to listen to yourself when you need a nap. It's telling you, it's trying to clear something, and unless you rest, it can't clear it, and it's going to get buried again.
Yes, and thank you for that, because I have been extremely tired for the past few months. There have been moments when I've had to lie down and take a short nap.
Relax.
And then on the weekend, I kind of give myself that little extra, and I find, on Saturday, boy, I fell asleep. I took a 2 hour nap. I was out.
But that's a good sleep too,
It
isn't
was
it?
it was a good sleep, and I felt a little better. It's just it's a lot of things catching up. And again, you're right. There's the balance there as well. Balance is to not continually go, go, go. The balance is to do things but also give yourself, your body, that time to rest and to rebalance itself to the different cycles. I've heard robins throughout the winter, and they're not necessarily migratory. But I saw one land on my little tree out here right at this window last week, and I was like, oh, I got all excited, of course,
Then the snow. I
and the,
mean,
then the big hoo-ha about everybody run for the hills kind of thing.
yeah. Yeah.
But I heard them, and I know, and nature is on the move. There's a lot of geese in the area coming back in the area. The starlings are decimating my bird feeder. So there's
I
always,
really think it's going to be an early spring all around.
I do, I think, and yeah, and again, those people further north are going to wait for it to thaw and then come out and punch me.
Yeah.
But yes, I think that spring is going to happen earlier, but I could be wrong, guys, it's okay.
Yeah. But my
Like,
little birdie told me.
the birds are all saying, okay, sorry, I won't mention birds anymore. But it's true. There is a balance to everything. And there's a balance in every season as well.
Yes.
There's there has to be everybody would be like, oh, yay, let's have it all be sunshiny all the time. Well, if it's sunshiny all the time, then the plants aren't getting water and they're not getting rain and they're not getting nourished.
Mhm.
Gotta have rain, gotta have snow, maybe not as much as that, but there is a balance. And I think Mother Nature, I think the planet is trying to balance everything as best she can. And it's difficult, with all humanity and
Yes.
everything on there. But I think, she's trying and doing her best. So we have to do our best as well to maintain that balance and to be mindful.
For every action, there is a reaction. And that's what I tell myself when I do something out of the norm. What ripple did I force ahead?
Oh,
And
yeah.
then I have to stop and think before I continue on my motion.
Oh, that's good.
And it makes you realize that no matter what you do or say, there is a reaction someplace. And that's including in all your elements.
Yes,
So it's very important.
it is. That's like that. What did they say? Butterfly flaps its wings and here and
Oh,
somewhere
God,
in
yes.
China something happens. I don't know. But there is that always balance in everything. And that's one of the things that you'll see in some of the movies, but you also read in a lot of books about magic and that kind of thing. Is there is a balance that must be maintained and to respect that and to honor that. Um, and it's important, but that's lovely. I loved the picture with the little stones just kind of ascending, and there's a little creature guy at the top. Yay.
Yeah. It's just those are my serenity rocks. They used to have them all over the beach where I lived, and we just walk all around them. It's like going through a garden of serenity. Very,
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
I like them too.
So what do you think, my dear?
I think we are balanced for today. I
I
hope
think
someone
so.
takes those messages to mind.
I think so too. I agree. I agree. So with that, we want to thank you for joining us on another Rev Talk. We want to remind you to be gentle with yourself and to be kind to yourself, and to remember that you are unique in all the universe. There will never be another just like you in all of space and time. You are powerful, you are cherished, and you are loved. And without you, the song of the universe would be incomplete. Until next time, my friends, be well.